Hey folks, Russ Bailey here from Brushpile Fishing. We are in Texas. We're on beautiful Cypress Springs. We're going to try to do a live video podcast. We tried this before and we didn't have good phone reception. But again, we're in Cypress Springs. It's looking good. It's time for Brushpile Fishing, the video podcast. Brought to you, of course, by Bob Cycle in Sydney, Ohio. Check them out on the web if you get a chance. And my guest today on the podcast, I just did 2 days of fishing with him. Brian Carter. Brian, how we doing, bud?
Russ Bailey, man, if we were any better, we'd still be fishing instead of podcasting. And we're great here in Texas.
Tell you what, folks, so let me start by, we're going to give you the current conditions down here in Northeast Texas for fishing. But the last 2 days, yesterday they called for winds 25, they blew 40 steady all day, minimum 40 probably. And today, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's the same thing. We've got winds on the main lake. It is white capping everywhere. But yesterday we were on Fork, and we were very limited to where we could fish.
Yeah, the wind, we thought about trying to go out and do some stumps, and then about a week ago, when we saw that the weather was going to be bad on the wind, we thought, well, let's go find us some shallow water. So we found us a creek to go up in and put some slip corks in and caught some nice fish up in there. But yeah, certainly limited us, but it was still a great opportunity to get a show and show some people catching fish on slip corks.
You know, yesterday there was no way we could go on that main body of water. We hit a stretch and we just kept working back and forth. Probably, I'm guessing 75 yards. That's it. Yeah. But we could somewhat get out of the wind. The bite was not great yesterday, but we caught some really nice fish. Now today, we're here in Cypress Springs. Water temperature was what today?
About 62 or so, probably when we launched. We launched about 8 o'clock or so, and then it was, last I looked there, it was up to 67 back here in the cove. So.
And it's pretty similar to what Fork was. What are these fish doing right now?
Man, it's spawn time in Texas. It's middle of March to middle of April. That water gets up warmer, and we've got the longer days with daylight savings. Then it's time to do what we can for a month, and we go out and chase them with corks and jigs and up in the shallows of what I call shallow, less than 3 foot of water,
yeah.
And 6 inches to 3 feet, and that's just what we do this time of year. And you know, we were blessed that you guys came down and could share that with us, and the timing worked out, and weather worked out somewhat, but thankfully we didn't have to be on the main lake. But yeah, it's spawn time in Texas, and so that's what we're doing.
Today, folks, what we did is we were just using shorter rods, jig and cork, and man, we had a ball. Like I say, we were in about 4 foot of water most of the day. This water down here on Cypress Springs is what I'm used to fishing. It's kind of a dingy water, and that's what I like. I don't like the real clear stuff, and it warms up a little bit, you know, quicker. And we had a ball this morning. We shot the whole show in just a couple of hours. And Brian, start out. We'll show you the rigs we were using.
Yeah,
we had a little bit different.
Yeah, this is so that's B&M's 75 series, 7.5 foot one-piece rod. It's got the gold colors from the 75th anniversary commemorative piece. Kind of show you what that is there. Just a great rod, backed by a great company. We had my rod had Stan's slip float on here. I had it pegged today, so it wasn't a true slip float, but just put a bobber stop on each end to hold it up so we can still easily adjust the difference on the depths. And then man, it's crappie magnet time. It's a crappie magnet 1/16 ounce on a loop knot. That's the Mardi Gras bait. This happens to be Crappie Magnet's Rue bait that Russ designed, and with a beautiful split tail, and so really cool for Russ to bring that product to the market. And that's the style of bait we fished all day, a couple different colors, but this was the only color I fished today. And yeah, again, we fished 2 spots this morning and filmed the show, so it was on hot and heavy, but yeah, that was the rig I had working for me today.
Mine was pretty similar to that. I was using a 7 foot Sam Heaton super sensitive. I love this rod when it comes to casting light jigs because it's so sensitive, and this thing is so lightweight. Now, we didn't do a lot of casting today because the winds were so strong. We were actually doing like a soft shooting technique with these rods. And I went with just a little bit different float. You know, we're with Crappie Magnet also. They've got it's called a trout float. It's a fixed float, and the thing that I like about it, it's really small. Anytime that I'm fishing shallow water, I want a float just barely big enough to hold up to whatever size jig I'm using. I used a 1/32 ounce, and it was just a double cross jig head by Crappie Magnet. And the rue, I know it's been tested in so many different applications: long lining, spider rigging, vertical jigging. If you have any doubts if it works under a bobber, Brian?
Yeah, it works on a bobber in a hurry. And it was, matter of fact, we had a couple of fish in the boat this morning before our cameraman was even set up and ready to go. So we're still hearing about that. But yeah, there's no doubt that bait was on them today.
And folks, we'll give you a little background on that. So when we do a show, I normally do the opening where we're at, in front of the truck, and then we always have the opening with the guest. And in between there, the cameraman's getting things set up on the boat because he's got a ton of equipment he's got to get set up. And we always hear, "Don't cast until I'm ready." Well, today we pulled into this first cove, and I'm telling you, it just looked like crappie heaven.
Yes.
So I just had to clear some line out.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
And it was like thump, and it's like, oh, so we caught a couple fish. And yeah, the cameraman's a little, T-Roy's upset with us, but we caught a couple fish before we even got started with the show. And it has just been an outstanding morning, even with these winds. The one thing I like about Cypress Springs is you don't have the fishing pressure of some of the bigger lakes, and we can always get out of the wind here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the beauty of being able to fish during the week certainly helps. And probably when there's gale force wind warnings, there's not too many people that are going to come out on the lake. But the beauty part of that, man, when you're blessed to get to fish as much as we can, you always try to keep in your mind what are the characteristics of that lake, and when can I fish it and when can't I fish it. And this lake has so many of these little coves and offshoots that are blocked from the wind. Yeah, you might be rough on the wind to get to your spot, but there's places you can fish even on a day like this. And so it's just been a beautiful day, not having to battle the wind except from getting from one spot to the next. And it's a beautiful lake out here, and just so glad you guys could travel down from Ohio and fish with us for the last couple of days. And shout out to T-Roy, the cameraman behind the camera right now, and the last 2 days, and he's done a great job with it, and just always a blessing to be able to get that done.
And you can see we were tied up to the bank, and the wind is just...
Yeah, I'm about to adjust the trolling motor a little bit.
So hang on there just a second. Folks, the reason that we wanted to give you a live video podcast, this show unfortunately won't air for a little bit. We got to get a schedule to where it's going to come in, and of course it's got to be edited. But we wanted to try to give you up-to-date information in case you're planning a trip somewhere down here in Northeast Texas. Now's the time. If you're looking for shallow water fish, and that's why we did this podcast. It's like, get down here now, because these fish are on fire. And
don't come to Cypress Springs.
No, they were on fire until we left.
Yeah.
They shut down.
No more fish here. Yeah.
The cool thing was, folks, we started out in one spot, and we caught nothing but white crappie. And we went to another channel, same depth, same color water, same vegetation basically, and we caught nothing but black crappie. So before we close this podcast out, I want to show you a few of the fish we caught today. And like I say, we had this show done in a couple hours. Brian, show them a couple of those.
Man, we just happen to have a few in here. Let's see. So we started catching the white crappie. We had all males today. And then you follow that up with Mr. Tuxedo, the beautiful black crappie. Man, just amazing colors. You only see this for maybe a month or so, and there's some of that when we educate people with stuff is talking about differences in a white and a black. So on your right side is a white crappie. You got the more vertical bars in them. The black crappie on your left side's got all the spots. So just different varieties of the same species. And but I tell you what, when it comes to the males in the springtime, it's tough to beat the colors on that black crappie. But just a cool way to see the difference in the two. Just beautiful fish. But man, that's a cooler full of them today, and it's been a heck of a day, man.
All right, folks, before we close her out, I'd like to remind you, if you don't have our app on your phone, make sure you download that. It is completely free. So many good features, including you'll have access to all of our shows, watch whatever you want. It's got a log inside of it that you can keep. It's got everything. Hook up with some of the guides that we fish with. Also, we have some openings left for our Brushpile Academies in the fall. Check more information on those on our website, which is just brushpilefishing.com. And folks, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. This is going to be a great show when it airs. But again, just trying to get some updates.
Wait, we got to talk about something that we haven't talked about. So the gentleman to my left, the often imitated, rarely duplicated Russ Bailey, is in August is being inducted into the Legend of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. And you were going to try to get through this podcast, and he won't talk about it, so I got to talk about it. But it's that is a huge honor for a man who travels thousands and thousands and thousands of miles to bring content to people. And just wanted to, from me and the state of Texas, you've been so gracious to come down here and fish with us, and I'm just blessed to know you and fish with you, and it's such a well-deserved honor for you. I couldn't let the podcast go without giving you a little sunshine there.
I appreciate that, and like we've said, man, it's the people that we associate with that makes us what we are. And Brian, we've done several shows together, and brother, every time we have a good time, and this was no exception.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was on like Donkey Kong.
All right,
and I'm a gamer, so that's awesome.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with another video podcast right here on Brushpile Fishing.